should fall, then steady you must stand, brothers, stand, and defend our motherland. Through the blazing sun of summer, through the mud and rain and sand, and line after line we'll await our king's command. For the pride of Ansteorra we will stand, brothers, stand, and defend our motherland. Through the blazing sun of summer, through the mud and rain and sand.
So, if you're at an event or a meeting or whatever, what do you prefer to go by? Just Abigale? Any preference on titles or nope? How long have you been in the SCA?
4 years.
4 years? And for the benefit of our viewers, Abigale and I have known each other for a number of years.
4 years.
And I've known her whole family, 2/7 of which are currently walking around behind the camera. And if you hadn't noticed, the site is dog friendly, which accounts for the background noise. Oh, he is taking off. So 4 years, you said?
4 years. It seems like it's been longer, in a good way.
Yeah. What brought you into the SCA?
Actually, Medfair.
Oh, was it? Okay.
One of my former teachers was out there, surfer trainer.
Ah, okay, okay.
And just, we were there, and we've been talking about going camping and, wanting to do some more stuff with the kids. I said, hey, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And we jumped in with both feet.
Now, you currently play out of which group?
Wiesenfeuer.
That's right. And I asked because there was a time where Wiesenfeuer and Namron didn't talk to each other.
Yeah.
And now they're almost literally in bed with each other in some offices.
Well, we did a lot in Namron for the first year and a half.
Uh-huh.
And then we have officer positions in Wiesenfeuer.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing that and the baby.
And
so
true. And for the benefit of anyone outside of the kingdom, Wiesenfeuer and Namron share almost half of their border. They are.
And we're right at that border.
Yeah. So it's not that they are leaving one group to play with another. It's you walk out your front door, you're Wiesenfeuer. You walk out your back door, you're Namron.
And we're in that gray zone of, okay, well, which exactly is your zip code to know where you technically belong. So we bounce back and forth.
What's your persona?
I don't have a specific one.
Okay.
We started with more English, Irish. Right now I'm doing more Russian.
Okay.
I'm playing around.
You have a period, early or late? No?
Not really.
Just whatever works for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's becoming a surprisingly common answer.
Yes.
And I remember when that answer was not so common. So it's interesting to see that shift.
And I do some Romani as well. So.
Now, I know part of this answer, but I'm willing to bet you'll probably still surprise me. Are you currently an officer, a deputy, or any unofficial leadership positions?
I'm Barony treasurer.
Okay.
That's the official one.
That's the official one. Any unofficial, or is there?
Well, considering we brought 10 kids today. Yes, 10.
Child wrangler included?
Yes. I was MOC. I'm not currently. Treasurer's a pretty big job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I think the prevailing logic is if you're handling the money, all other headaches will take care of.
Yes.
Let's
Of
talk.
course, my 5 kids is head count.
Yeah.
Head count.
Now, of the 10 you brought today, how many of those were you? So you've got your whole 5. Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about your skill sets in the SCA. What activities do you most often participate in?
I'm usually working.
Usually just helium hand. Oh, I can do that.
Yes. I have to sit on my hands sometimes.
Yeah. think we all have had those moments
The
weekly.
biggest one I've had was they were asking for a volunteer for the maypole, and I'm like, not me. I know what happened last time with that thing.
Originally, I wrote this specifically referring to awards, but I've kind of expanded this to awards, recognitions, or even personal thank yous. Do anything you have in that swath hold any specific emotional significance to you?
Yeah. And I'm drawing blank. Compass rose.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, for the benefit of people who aren't local, what is the Compass Rose and who
It
issues
is
it?
for working with children, and it is a kingdom.
It's a Kingdom Award. Is it armigerous?
So,
I'll look it up. So you have a Compass Rose for your work with kids. And do you remember which crown issued that?
I believe it was Jason and
Okay, okay. And that's obviously very emotional for you because
well, they're local for us.
they're local
And I'd been doing MOC, and I've been deputy MOC as well, but my kids are my life.
Absolutely.
My
Absolutely.
kids are my life. I have 5, we homeschool, so, you know, and being recognized for my work with the kids is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big thing for me.
If someone were to see you at an event during the day, typical event, what would you most likely be doing?
Currently, either gate or counting kids.
Okay. Or both.
Or both at
Or
the same
both.
time, yes.
I did work gate last week and you were doing both like a pro. Same question after sunset.
Well, it depends on how late. If it's around dinner time, cooking. With our food allergies, spaces are more
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, I understand that.
But and I usually cook for Army anyway.
Yeah, after 3 or 4, it's just a bulk, right?
Yeah. I like to go watch drumming, dancing, bardic.
Okay.
We'll sometimes have it at our camp.
All right.
Some of it, especially the bardic at our camp. I like sticking fairly close because I've got to get kids to bed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Now, for the sake of just spectrum, youngest to oldest, what is your range?
My youngest just turned 2 in February, and my oldest will be 16 in August.
You spread out another gray hair as you said that.
I know. She's started
So
driving
you-
this year. Yeah.
So, but I mean, that really does give you the whole spectrum. You're dealing with a teenager,
All the way down to a
preteen,
baby,
2 little
basically.
ones, and a little and a baby.
Yes.
Or a toddler, I guess.
Yes.
Or, no,
He's
he's 2, yeah.
He's 2.
Yeah, he's trucking is what he's doing.
Yes.
But on top of all of this, I mean, you homeschool.
Yes.
You do, in fact. I mean, you have a day job. You
I'm
are
a
an
bookkeeper.
accountant,
Yeah, I'm a bookkeeper.
and you're a baronial financial
Yes.
officer,
And I'm going to school full time.
and you're going to school full time. So, the fact that you're doing all of this and you're not permanently committed to a mental institute is it's actually very remarkable. And I say that here because I really think any one of those points is interesting, but the fact that they exist in concert is what's remarkable.
Yes.
What's something you want people to know about you? Just kind of WYSIWYG, live your life on your,
Yeah.
put your life on your sleeve, don't care who sees.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be upright and honest. I mean, as honest as I can. I mean, I'm not going to go out to hurt somebody's feelings or anything.
Yeah.
But you'll know where you stand with me.
What's something in the SCA you like to talk about?
Most of my stuff centers around my kids, but I love doing fiber arts.
Okay.
A lot of
Okay.
people don't see that in me, but even this is my weaving.
Okay.
So,
And it's a fairly intricate design, so you're certainly not new to it.
no, this was actually my 3rd one that I did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, I'm doing some pickup right now, some bolted pickup. But I'm wanting to try and get back into that. I've been doing some embroidery work since I was
So
7, 8 years
needlework,
old.
weaving work,
Yeah.
all the fiber art spectrum. You're,
It's fiber arts on there.
if not that I think you would even let this happen, but if a circumstance were to come up, and I'm X-stepping with this question, where someone said your kids and your husband are staying at home, and you could just hop in the car and go to any event, what event would you do?
I've done that once. I actually went to Battlemore without my family.
And how was that?
It was interesting. I was with Baroness Kaina.
Oh, okay. Oh, that must have been a car ride. and a half.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun while we were there, except for the rattlesnakes and That's the wind. Here we're blowing.
Who bit
everything
who?
down.
Them bit you or you bit them?
Oh, we didn't have any of that. Just
Okay.
we knew where to go and where not to at
Gotcha.
camp. Because it's like, oh, there's rattlesnakes in Royal Camp. Okay. Maybe we want to move the Royals up towards us.
Okay, that's
So,
fair.
but yeah. I've done that. It was interesting.
What do you feel is one of your strongest skill sets in the SCA?
Working with kids.
Working with kids? Okay.
And of course, I'm treasurer. That's my business too.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, maybe you want to say they're kind of, in terms of strength
Yeah.
of skill set, perhaps they're co-equal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll always be willing to lend a hand and help.
And for anyone who wants to challenge the notion the two are co-equal, I will point out that there is always a lack of volunteers when it comes time to recruit baronial treasurers or volunteers for ministers'
Gates.
children. So these are not only these valid skill sets, they are scarce skill sets.
Yes. Much needed too.
Yes, indeed. If someone wanted to talk with you at an event or meeting and they didn't know you, how would you want them to approach it?
Just come up.
Just come up? Yep. Any preference on title or address or pre-note?
Nope.
Come
Just
up, stick their
make
hand
sure
out.
I'm not grabbing a child. Do not come between me and my kids. That's the biggest thing.
Let you scoop them up, then address you?
Then, yes.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if the qualifier is not when you're dealing with kids, that kind of not...
No.
that-
Just let me grab the child
Just let you grab
first.
them. Because let's be fair, there are whole events where you would be completely unapproachable.
Yeah, no. I can talk with people with my kids around, but let me grab, especially the 2-year-old. Let me grab them first.
Do you consider yourself approachable? You do? Okay.
I hope I am.
There are people who openly say, I know I'm not approachable, I don't look it. So it's always a valid question.
Yeah.
Now, this next question, I'm referring both to official and unofficial relationships within the SCA, but could you talk about some of the relationships you've formed?
Oh, wow. There's been a lot. I mean, a whole lot. I see the SCA more as my chosen family. I mean, because there's so many people that we know, including you, who you all spend more time with my kids than my family does. And my family's in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
You all know my kids better than my family does. It's my chosen family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's pretty much kind of a broad everyone.
Yeah.
In full disclosure, when my own life, my scheduling got very dicey for a short period of time because of work, I needed a place to stay in Oklahoma City. And Abigale and her family graciously put me up. When I say and her family, that first night I showed up, it was what, 11 o'clock?
It was about 11:30,
and
yeah.
your 3 middle kids crawled out of bed to greet me at the door.
Yeah.
And the moment we got the hugs in and everyone said, it's good to see you, Ivo, they all said, we're going back to bed.
Yep.
So that is the welcome that she offers her guests. And obviously that's widely felt across a great many people.
And it's the same way with our camp. If somebody needs something, just get behind us.
Camp mom for the whole site?
Pretty much. I keep Zyrtec, Benadryl. We have the epinephrine, Band-Aids, kids, adults. Everybody's covered. Come find me.
Wait.
It has been done.
Yeah.
We haven't had to use the epi yet.
But you have it.
We have it.
Okay.
And we have had to use Zyrtec and Benadryl on people.
Okay.
When the feast
Kind of.
had ingredients they didn't know they couldn't have.
So, part mother, part bookkeeper, part apothecary,
Yes. Well, I am an herbalist, so.
and an herbalist. Let's take a step back and big issues for a minute. What is something about the current SCA you might want to see change?
There's a core group of volunteers. I wish more people would volunteer for positions. Not even just, the baronial officer positions. Even like getting gate filled. It can be calling too, going, hey guys, come on, I need some help.
Now, if someone's watching this from their home, and let's let's just go out there and let's say they're not even from Ansteorra, but they're SCA.
Find your treasurer.
Find your treasurer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know with our barony, it is me who is required to run the. I know each barony has their own policies, but your treasurer will know who to point you to if they're not the one in charge. And it's the same with any officer. If you have an interest, and even if you don't want to be the officer themselves, then reach out and see what you can do to help.
Okay.
'Cause, I mean, my husband's the herald, and there's certain areas of the heraldry he doesn't care for. He would love to have some people just come in and say, hey, I'll take that part, and let him do the stuff that he enjoys more.
Yeah.
So,
No, and
it
as
goes
a
with
herald
any office.
myself, I can understand
Yeah,
that.
it goes
Definitely.
with any office. See what you can do to help. There's
If there
many
were-
times that we've been loading the shed with just Aldrich and us and their excellencies, and that's been it.
So let me put this in a numbers question for you, and I'm asking you this because I know a little bit about how you think, and I think you might be uniquely qualified to say this. Suppose we had a barony roughly comparable to Wiesenfeuer, which is what, about 100 people between active and inactive and seasonally active. Aside from your core group of volunteers, how many hours at an event would you say everyone else would have to give in order to level things out?
Even just one. Seriously, even just one.
So if everyone else were to stick their hands up and on average between them were to say, I can give you 60 minutes of time,
Yes.
that would
It would
alleviate.
alleviate a lot right there, real quick. Because
Okay.
there's a core group of us doing probably 75-80% of the work.
Okay.
And that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
And that's why those people get burned out. And I know there's been a lot of concern about me and my husband getting burned out. And no, we're not. We know how to
Too
pace
stubborn
each
for
other.
that?
Yeah, that, and we know how to pace each other and say, hey, take a step back for a minute. Hey, you grab this.
Now, this is definitely going off script, but again, knowing your exposure to the leadership, the officer corps, do you think there is anything the officers could do to help encourage volunteerism, or is...
Yeah, we need to try and be more vocal about what we need to.
Okay.
And I'm
You're in that boat as well.
I'm in that boat as well.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a control freak, and I know that. Especially dealing with money. I kind of have to be too.
Well, yeah. When the end of the food chain stops with the IRS, I don't think anyone blames you for that.
And there's been several times when we're going, okay, guys, this is even above SCA policy because I do that professionally.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sitting here going, guys, this isn't even BOD stuff. This is IRS telling the BOD how it has to be done. And they're like, oh, we thought it was just BOD policy. No, this is much bigger than that.
So perhaps on the conversation of volunteerism, both the volunteers and the leaders might both need to take a look in the mirror and
Absolutely.
rethink the situation a little
Absolutely.
bit. Okay. Okay. And I think that's a good. I think that definitely draws on a lot of your experience. So I'm really glad we were able to talk about that. What do you think has been your single biggest contribution to the society right now?
Oh gosh, that's hard.
Yeah, that is my.
I guess just my willingness to step in where I'm needed.
Okay, so the footprint of the work you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we come to a site and we bring lots of kids everywhere, but yeah. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not.
So let's look forward a little bit. What is something in the SCA you don't know anything about that maybe you want to get into in the future?
There's a lot of things I still want to learn.
Okay.
Mostly arts-wise.
Mostly
I
arts.
love the arts. I've dabbled in some other stuff, but I want to gain more knowledge in the fiber arts.
All right.
And yes, I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm very firmly a believer that we always have the opportunity to learn more.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So,
Is there anyone you know that you would like to see sit down for an interview?
I can think of a lot of people.
You have to make
Probably volume.
Oh, we want to get Valia?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
She's got a lot of stories to tell.
I've heard a few of them myself.
I've heard a lot. That could take a long time.
We may need to get a written disclosure put together so that I don't get that yanked from under me. No, I would.
think any of the people that have been in a long time could offer a lot.
Yes, absolutely,
to it.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Because it's just like in mundane life, my grandfather was in World War II. We're losing that generation and that history.
Yeah.
And I think that something like this could go very far in preserving some of that for kingdom as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, last question for you. And I'm ending all my interviews with this one. Have you ever heard the name? Are you familiar with Sir Ricardo de Pisa? All right. He was, on a social level, considered one of the first great Ansteorran knights. He was among the early knights who was knighted after our separation at Mill. And he is the knight who, with a blacksmithing friend, forged the sword we use today for the Sword of State. He passed away due to complications from surgery like 2 weeks before Belfort in '98, my first golf. I never actually met him. The reason I mention all this is, number one, he does have that connection with the kingdom, but one of the summaries I heard about the man from those who knew him, one man in particular, was that he was a hero from a kingdom of heroes. While he was very heroic, there was a bit of I echo the kingdom I come from. With that mindset, and keeping in mind that, oh dear God, do we pull out the red cape and the blue underwear heroic image sometimes, for better or for worse. Are there anyone, or who are some people, it doesn't need to be the most in any metric, but just in general, are there any people in Ansteorra who you consider heroes of yours?
Not in particular. And I think that part of that is I'm still getting to know a lot of people. Yeah, I've been here 4 years, but I'm still really getting to know people.
Okay. So no one at the moment jumps out. But at the same time, as you said before, this is your chosen family,
Yes.
so everyone holds a place in your
Yes,
heart.
absolutely. I mean, there's so many people that I would miss if they weren't around.
All right.
Because it's more like, it is what it's important to me.
Well, that's everything I have. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
This has
thank you.
been wonderful. Let me.
If I should fall, then steady you must stand, brother, stand, and defend our motherland. Through the blazing sun of summer, through the mud and rain and sand, and line after line we'll await our king's command. For the pride of Ansteorra we will stand, brother, stand, and defend our motherland. Through the blazing sun of summer, through the mud and